obviously we're speaking about launching a campaign tonight for the EU referendum. It's well underway, as we know, but this election is probably the most important one possibly this country is going to face. Every election is important, in my opinion, but this one is very important. And the British National Party has campaigned for decades. You know, it's 1982 the BNP was formed, and they've been campaigning ever since to get out of the European Union. And there's people in this room, I won't mention their names, I don't want to embarrass anybody, Malcolm, but there's people in this room, probably Cliff as well over there, that campaigned in the last referendum in 1975. I know Malcolm did, campaigned very hard, and for the referendum then, which was the European Community Membership referendum, otherwise known as the Common Market referendum. And so, you know, we're nationalists, you know, before the British National Party was actually formed, nationalists were campaigning for years on this issue, and our activists have been very much involved in this campaign as well. I won't mention one particular chap, he's here tonight, but he's been out leafleting every day again. He was very active during the London election, and he's been out delivering plenty of leaflets for this referendum as well. And this referendum could be very close by the look of it. The opinion polls are suggesting that it's virtually neck and neck. And we've seen before in many elections it can be very, very close. Look at the Austrian presidential election a couple of weeks ago. 0.6%. The nationalist candidate lost. We've had so many near misses ourselves. One vote. We lost an election by one vote once up in the northeast of England. I ran a campaign a few years ago and we lost an election by 8 votes. Just a few weeks ago we lost an election by 36 votes in Lancashire. And, you know, that was a near miss. So every vote really does count in this election. And what you've seen is, over the last few weeks, is something which they describe as Project Fear from the establishment, from Cameron and his cronies. And what they've been telling us, they've been telling us if we leave the EU, the world's going to cave in. You know,
didn't cave in before, did it?
The roof's going to fall in. Food prices are going to go up. Hundreds of thousands of jobs could be lost. House prices will rise. Holidays are going to be more expensive. Thousands of pounds are going to be lost off of people's pensions. All this sort of stuff. So the people I've spoken to just think it's all scaremongering, most of them. So, and also everyone I speak to says they're going to vote to leave. And everyone I speak to, who speaks to everybody else, says everyone they speak to says everyone's going to vote to leave. But what we've got to try and do is make sure they actually vote. Yeah. Because we've had all this before with elections of our own. Everyone says they're going to vote for us, and when you look at the marked register, the turnout, half of them don't vote. So I read an article like 3 days ago, and it said that the EU citizens who are not actually eligible to vote in this election have been receiving polling cards. You know, this is something. This is why we've got to make an extra effort to actually get people out to vote in this election. And it said in the article that the Electoral Commission have said, oh no, it's just an error by the local authority, and they won't be allowed to vote. But if they go into the polling station with a polling card, I'm sure they'll end up voting, unless there's a mark on the register they've got there that says they can't vote. So these are the problems that we've got to try and overcome for this election. And so what we can do is make sure everyone you know who wants to vote leave is registered to vote. If they're not, they've got a few more days to register. If they're going on holiday, sign them up to a proxy vote. You can vote for them. There's plenty of people signing up for those in Bexley, I know that for a fact. there's 2,000 people a week signing up for proxies, postal votes and new registration, because I was in the council today. And if they're not going on holiday and they don't usually vote, then try and get them a postal vote. They're more likely to actually vote if they've got one. So these are the people, you know, if they're not interested in voting, or get them on a proxy anyway. We can get them on a proxy vote. It's very important. We've got a bit of time for that. There's not that much longer left to sign them up, but it's important. Send out text messages to everybody. Send out emails, phone calls. Drag them all out on the day. Give them a lift to the polling station. You know, if this goes down to a few thousand votes, you know, across the country, as it could, then every vote is vital. The Leave campaign has recently took the lead in a lot of the opinion polls, but we can't really trust the opinion polls. We saw that in the election, the last general election. They wasn't predicting the Tories were going to have an overall majority, and they got one. So it's very, very important that everyone votes, and we can all play our part in that. So you know, I've had so many leaflets coming through my door. It's unbelievable. You know, I've got this is just some of them. You know, it's most of them are for Leave, thankfully, but there's so many different groups. You know, campaigning, so hopefully different groups will reach different people. This one's from Veterans for Britain, you know. There's another one here from the campaign, the Leave Alliance, the campaign for independent Britain. There's so many different groups, and some people are getting bombarded with them. I spoke to a couple last night in Bexley, and they said they hadn't had any leaflets, so I don't know what's going on, but I seem to be getting plenty. Maybe that's because I'm a postal voter, and they have been targeting the postal voters. I've got this one which specifically said you to send in your postal vote, so for the Leave campaign. But I did get one from the Remain as well. So anyway, so let's do everything we can to get the vote out. I did hear a report. There's Professor Matthew Goodwin. He likes to do reports on. He does reports on us quite often. And he studies the ins and outs of everything to do with politics and statistics and voting patterns. And he said a week or two ago that both campaigns are just targeting their core support to get the vote out. The Remain campaign are very concerned about this because they think the Leave campaign has got more enthusiasm to actually get out and vote. So if we all do our bit, let's hope that every year, if we win this, every year we'll have an annual celebration for British Independence Day.
To donate to the British National Party, please call 0844 809 4581 or go to www.bnp.org.uk